Welcome to a brand new episode of the Real Life Podcast, a member of the Nation Network of Podcasts and delivered by DoorDash.
Welcome to Real Life, everyone.
What is going on right now?
I think that I'm in love with Matthew Tkachuk.
Are you guys all drunk?
Welcome in episode 356 of the Real Life Podcast. Tyler Yaremchuk, Baggedmilk, Wanye, Baggedmilk of the fastest growing podcast in the Edmonton metropolitan area.
That's right.
Come on.
That's right.
There's no way this is a metropolitan area either, right?
I only have one beef with his new podcast. You want to hear what it is?
You haven't been on it?
He won't let me because he started at the top of the food chain with Frank Saravalli.
Actually, Frank's the least downloaded episode of the podcast.
Who's the most downloaded guest?
Guest? Oh, it's Tyler.
Oh, okay. Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to start up my own hockey website and it's going to shit kick both of you. And then I'll have my own podcast that you guys can't come on.
Well, the thing is, I want to have you on mine, but I fully understand that it's going to go forever. The interview, or
so I can't have you on my podcast because my podcast will go forever.
No, this
is the most ridiculous.
It's just right now I've got no time.
I can talk briefly.
No, I don't want to do that.
Oh, okay. Then we don't have to.
I want to dive into weird shit.
Okay. Just know with every single person that goes on Better Late Than Never, I know you're putting them ahead of me on the friendship ladder of life.
I haven't had a guest the last 2 weeks. I'm too busy. I can't do it.
I think you've turned into J. Cole. You think you don't need features. And I think you're going to do it all yourself. What is your Yaremchuk into right now?
I don't know.
Fucking mic fell off the table.
Good thing we're here.
Yeah.
You've had him on your pod. He can't even put a mic stand together.
That is true.
Look at me. Fuck.
We were going to be roommates though, so I had to have him on. We had never been roommates before.
That was good. Okay, sorry. I'm almost set up here. Well, all right. Podcast brought to you by the HGA Group.
I had a call with them yesterday for real and said, this is just like on the podcast that I heard. And then they laughed and said, that's your own podcast you're quoting.
Fuck, this is not going
Can we
well.
just this is the second or third time I've seen this microphone fall off while I've been recording with you. Is there no better solution than this?
Absolutely not.
Maybe you guys should talk when you go on this podcast for your second appearance before I get to go on my first. Maybe you could do a podcast just about how you fix that mic stand.
Tyler does text me about my podcast a lot.
The numbers are smashing, man.
Yeah.
You had an episode, and granted, we think we may have figured out a secret to getting our downloads up, which is huge. But you had an episode that's done better than I think any episode of Real Life.
It's got more numbers than Oilers Nation Radio as well.
Yeah.
I don't like this for a few reasons. One, I haven't been on the show. I'd just like to add that in case anybody listening to this podcast is comparing podcasts. And two, I think it's like when Wham broke up and you're George Michael and I'm the other guy in Wham. Does anybody remember what the other guy did?
Wasn't his name also Wanye?
No, there was a Wanye.
The guy from Wham.
There's Boys to Men has a Wanye.
Really?
Yeah. And in Motown, Philly, right before they go into an a cappella thing, they
Back to life.
and they go, hey, Wanye, check this out. See if this one moves you. I'm like, damn.
We should just get that a bumper on
We
this
should
podcast.
make that a button. Yeah.
Or a button.
That's
I should
good.
say.
See if this one moves you.
There's been two things I've been meaning to do. Clean up the podcast studio. It's a shit show right now.
That looks great.
And update the buttons that we got. That should be one of them.
Absolutely should be one of them. You will come on my podcast, but I need time.
Oh, I'm pretty busy.
And then you know what we'll do? We'll start.
No, I'm not.
We'll start leaving you off the first 5 minutes of every episode. Then you'll have that as like your intro music, like
sick.
you're a wrestler.
I'll just come up through the floor.
Yeah.
What up? Well, that's great. I hope you have a great solo career, George, and you don't need to worry about me and all the Wham fans. We'll make something else happen for ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was the other guy's name?
I'm excellent.
Google
at
that for me real quick.
Yeah, if you can get internet.
I'm
jealous.
George Michael, I believe.
Yeah, lesser George Michael.
Andrew Ridgely.
That can't be right.
Yeah, that's not a real person.
Nope, that's me. Andrew Wanye Ridgely.
Yeah. Other half of Wham.
Sorry, guys, 1 sec. I forgot I was going to slow cook ribs today, and I forgot to do it before I left, so I got to text instructions.
Oh, I thought you had like an app that was going to allow your slow cooker to turn on by...
I wish I had that kind of like those cool ovens that you can program from your phone. That's the future. That's Jetsons shit.
Some Jetsons shit.
There we go.
I have a few topics.
All right.
It's Tuesday because I'm an amazing hands-on parent and shit happens quick in the dad world.
You posted the most adorable little photo of Lil Wanye the other day on Twitter.
Oh, with his little tracksuit and his little vest.
Yeah. I thought he looked great.
That one chap, can't remember the name off the top of my head. He's always like, how's Wanye Jr. doing? Like, you are a
stylish,
kind-hearted man.
I find it amazing that he is, almost 2?
Well, he's 16 months, but if you go by skills, he's 7 months old.
But he is looking fresh.
He's looking fresh.
When I was a baby, I was 16 months old. I'm pretty sure I was just wearing ponchos.
He doesn't speak and he doesn't walk. And he is long past the milestones for both. And it's because he doesn't want to talk.
Has no need.
He can point.
He delegates.
He has parents that do whatever the hell he says. Why would you need to talk? And why would you need to walk? And the doctor goes, it's because his head's so big. He has a very high center of gravity. And I'm like, that's fucked up. And I go talk to Grandma Wanye and she's like, oh, you had that too when you were little. Our enormous heads.
One of my favorite times ever is you and I went to the mall. This was a long time ago now.
No.
And you were looking for a hat.
No.
And you gave your hat size and the guy's like, you can have that one.
Oh my God. I go into the hat store, Yaremchuk, not cheering for any particular team. And I say, what do you have in a 7 7/8 or an 8? And they go, now you're a Pittsburgh Pirates fan. And I say, go Pirates. That's embarrassing.
Sir, you can have this one hat from the Korean Baseball League.
That's right.
Most of their games start at 3 a.m. And you're like, well, that's my life now. I need a hat. I don't want to get sunburned.
We have a hat for a Heritage Classic application made on behalf of Quebec City that was never approved. You can wear that hat in a size 8. Oh.
You can have an Oilers Stanley Cup Championship 2006 hat.
I've seen one of those. I sent you the photos,
Yeah, you
remember?
did.
I was watching an international prison documentary.
Oh, right. Now I remember. It was the most
Okay.
random place of all time.
Yes, I have screenshots
Yes,
of it.
yes. He sent it to me.
And these prisoners were doing like they were laying pipe in the prison yard, not, that
Yeah.
sort.
Yeah.
And this poor bastard at this prison had an Edmonton Oilers 2006 Stanley Cup champion shirt on. Yeah.
That's fucked.
Yeah. It's
pretty awesome.
Donate. What?
It's just in the sense that
Would you go to that jail just to wear that shirt? I would.
Yeah, of course.
Fucking right. So
Yeah,
give me
man.
that shirt, buddy.
I need to up my clout anyway.
Yep.
Don't they burn them now?
Well, maybe now, but in 2006, they donated them
Yeah. Smart.
No.
to a Honduran prison somehow.
Makes sense. I wasn't checking the Zoom meeting room. Do you think Chalmers has been like trying to get
Absolutely
in?
not.
Whatever.
No, Chalmers doesn't have anything to say.
Jay's in a meeting.
Yeah.
Found out today Jay might not be going to Nashville with us.
Why is that?
He's a businessman.
Oh,
So that's upsetting for me.
No, but he's having a baby.
Yeah, I
what
know.
is that? Is there a arrival date?
Somewhere
Nashville
around
trip.
Nashville trip.
Oh, is that why?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is why.
So you're rattled that he'd rather witness the birth of his child than come to Nashville?
It's a real problem with priorities is what Tyler thinks.
You know what, Yaremchuk? But next time you have a kid, not last time, next time.
Yeah.
We're not going to let you go to Nashville just so you see how it feels. Or we'll all go to Nashville and leave you behind while you have a baby.
That's the best way.
Or
to
you'll
do it.
make me go to Nashville alone.
Or we'll buy you a baby in Nashville and you have to go get it. How was the All-Star game? I haven't seen you.
Oh, yeah. I spent the first half of the last podcast telling stories, so I'll be brief.
Yeah, I listened.
It was cool.
Yeah.
Really neat.
You fucking spoke to Gary Bettman, dude.
Yeah, I did.
Isn't that wild?
Go on.
I said,
Hello, Gary Bettman.
Tyler Yaremchuk Daily Faceoff.
You did?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, I posted on my Instagram.
I was
played it on
proud
the
of
pod.
him.
It's Tyler Yaremchuk Daily Faceoff. Wondering if you had a comment on the Calgary Flames arena situation and how that sort of fell apart.
And what'd he say?
That's an important question. And he looked right at me and I was like, it is.
Oh my God.
I was very proud of him.
Then I asked Connor that question. And
Yeah, that was great.
And he was like, that's a good question. And I was like, Go on, Connor.
I know that you got an important question and a good question. Did you get any bumpers from the Oilers saying that they watch Real Life? Of course not.
No.
Because you said something about that's not my job. And I was like, but it would be your job because you're the fucking podcast producer and you're at the All-Star game.
But it's not the time for it, you know?
That I would agree with.
Mhm.
So you didn't do it though?
No, I didn't.
I see.
Got scared.
Did you win $1,000 chip?
Yes, at Park MGM.
Did you keep it?
No.
Drat.
You wanted me to like not cash it in?
No. I mean, like, did you leave with $1,000 in your pocket from the casino then?
Oh, I left. Yeah, I went up to my room
Good
with
man.
$1,000
Good
and
man.
I FaceTimed my girlfriend and I was like, Amber, look how much money I won.
Yes.
And then I just flipped the FaceTime camera around and I was like, 1, 2, and like counted up. And she was like, what the hell? And I was like,
You'll never see me again.
Yeah.
Because what time of the day was that when it fell into the group chat? It was just a $1,000 chip with no context from our man at the
It would have been
He's
like
just flexing.
Would have been like 1 a.m. or
Yeah.
whatever. Like
I
this
saw
time.
it and I was like,
Maybe like 12.
He's not going to have that chip when he wakes up in the morning. I can tell you that.
No, I did actually walk out of Vegas with money though. Like in my wallet right now, I still got American cash. I got like $400 American,
Okay.
which is more than I went to the States with.
If you can do that, it was a good trip.
Yeah. And I spent like 2 weeks there too. I spent a good amount of cash.
You were in
too.
Vegas for 2 weeks.
I was
No.
in Vegas for 5 days,
Yeah.
Vegas for 4 days, Phoenix for 6 days.
I also miss FaceTiming your girlfriend, by the way.
What?
We don't bring that up.
Yeah.
We don't bring that up.
Oh, I see. You were together when you.
I liked it. I think she did too.
Well,
Yeah, it's a fond memory for her. It's become a little bit of a meme, that specific video. You haven't seen it?
No.
Oh,
I'll show it to you after.
Yeah.
It's the fucking best.
It's not my best moment.
Well, I'm glad you came out with at least $1,000. That's a good kill.
Mm-hmm.
What were you playing?
Blackjack, only blackjack.
One hand or two?
Just one at a time.
How much?
During the day, you could get $15 a hand, and then always $5 on Buster Blackjack.
You got to.
I made so much money on fucking Buster Blackjack. It was insane. There was 2 times, so at $5, and if the dealer busts on 6 cards, you get $100. Plus, you win your hand of blackjack, right? So there was twice on the trip where I hit the $100 one, so that was huge. And there was 2 more times or 3 more times where I hit the $60 win as well. So I was just loving the side bets too.
It used to be back in the day at Palace Casino, there was a slot. You could take your chip and put it down and it would light up when you had the extra $1. I think it was just $1, but the vertical play, it was exciting.
So they had Vegas Golden Knights themed tables where if you put your chip on the little Vegas Golden Knights button and you got a blackjack, they would spin a little Vegas Golden Knights wheel.
Come on.
And you would win anywhere from like an extra 20 to an extra like $70,000 was like the jackpot.
Courtesy of the Golden Knights.
Courtesy of the Golden Knights.
When's the last time the Oilers gave you any money at the blackjack table?
Nope. 0.
They did actually. This is the one story I didn't share. I don't want to keep talking about All-Star stories because I'm sure people are sick of them.
No,
but when
I just think you're balling now, talking about all the money you got.
When we were sitting in the press box for the All-Star game, the little Vegas PR people came around with black gift bags with a gold All-Star game logo on them.
Short people, little Vegas.
Yeah, very small.
Very small. Very small.
So they're running around the black gift bags with the golden, whatever All-Star game logo. And Bill Foley gifted all the media members a nice bottle of wine from his one of his wineries.
Did you enjoy it?
Bill Foley has winery. Oh, the owner of the Golden Knights.
Yeah.
Damn, that's ball.
What else was in the gift bag?
A deck of all gold playing cards with Golden Knights logos on them and a little note saying, "Thank you for coming."
That's a nice touch.
That's a
Very nice touch. I don't know if they do that like every All-Star game or if that was like a Vegas only thing, but it was very cool. And the wine's good.
You already drank it?
Yeah.
Good for you.
I waited till
Wine guy.
I waited till Amber was around and I shared it with her, obviously.
Just you fanning yourself with money, drinking red wine from the owner of the Golden Knights. Hey, how was 3 days in Vegas? You know, it was amazing.
Looking out on my 4th floor view of Park MGM, which is just a bunch of air conditioner units. And I felt shame because there's 2 elevators there. There's one for floors like 13 to 25. Then there's one for floors 4 to 12. So at the end of the night, it was like me, McKenna Burnside. I'm like, all right, guys, let's head up to the room. And they both go to the 13 to 25 elevator. I'm like, see ya.
You take the same elevator, go to 13, take the stairs down 1 story. Eh?
That's what I do.
Yeah, on to floor 12. One morning they were fixing the AC units on the roof that I looked over. And I was like, what the fuck's going on outside? And look at their wrenches and shit.
Life goes on, man.
Yep.
Vegas is amazing because you can find yourself having an amazing moment and you're at the club and the bottles and the sparklers and 30 seconds later you're staring at an ocean of air conditioners on a ceiling outside your room. Like it's a city of contrasts, I guess is my point.
And it's just like the ability for randomness in Vegas is always the best. You know?
There was one guy on a bridge in Vegas who just had like an instrumental going and he would rap but not stop. And then he'd rap about you, right? So someone would be coming by in like a pair of black Nikes and he'd be like, yo, you got the black Nikes on, blah, 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 blah. Like
you pay him?
Spit a whole verse. No, because he didn't rap about me anytime I walked by. I'm too basic.
Yeah.
Speaking of rap, do we need to do an ad before we speak of rap?
Shout out to Twig and Berries. Promo code Nation15 gets you 15% off at Twig and Berries. Get your wardrobe ready for spring. And also make sure you take care of your downstairs area with their nutsack underwear.
Fair. I watched Genius. On that note, I watched the Kanye West documentary Genius.
I might watch it tonight.
It's very, very
How many parts is it?
3.
Oh, I'm going to.
How long each?
Well, hour and a half, I think.
Wow, so it's like a 4.5 hour.
Oh man, and it flew by. Like
Really?
some of the footage of it. How do you feel about me talking about it? Do you want it all to be a surprise or?
Leave
You know,
any-
Kanye West's a rapper.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I've seen a few clips on Instagram. So nothing will be like a crazy shock to me, but
Okay. Well, I'll just tell you a little bit because it's interesting. And maybe people who listen to this show that wouldn't listen to or watch that normally will give it a go because it's not Kanye married to Kim Kardashian.
What's the timeline first before you go on?
Birth.
Oh, okay. Full
Full
lot.
trilogy. Baby.
All right.
So
Okay.
starts out birth and we're working our way through. And so these guys started making a documentary about Kanye 7.5 years ago.
Yeah.
And they've just been with him since. So imagine all the shit that's happened in the 7.5 years of going around since, right? They've got amazing footage where
I imagine he had Final Cut, right? Has to.
he spazzed on Twitter and said, if you don't give me Final Cut, I'm going to lose my shit. Yeah. But it's still like the footage that they have is just incredible. Like imagine if you could watch a documentary of your life because they've been following you around. So they have really amazing conversations with his mom, Donda, right? And she untimely passed away young. This has had a huge impact on Kanye. And there's this scene where he gets burnt. He didn't have a good start to his career. Nobody wanted him to rap. There's amazing scenes of him bringing completed songs from his first album to Rockefeller Records and playing them for people. And they're just like,
he plays All Falls Down for that receptionist and she just like blows him off.
She was an A&R lady. She was a lady who worked for Rockefeller to find new musicians, and Kanye's making hits and she plays All Falls Down. She's like, nah, and starts talking to somebody. And there's a funny scene where she interrupts him because she's like, I need to get a BlackBerry. I hear those things are amazing now. So you can kind of get a feel for what era they're in.
Yeah.
They didn't take Kanye seriously at all. There's photos of or video of him at a Rockefeller party and he walks by like a line and Jay-Z's shaking hands. He's like, hello, Jay-Z. And Jay-Z's like, get out of here. You basically a bum. And he's like, like he wasn't a big deal. He's worked very, very hard, man. And no one believed in Kanye but Kanye, especially early on. Like the amount of shit he was taking in this documentary was impressive.
That's now I'm thinking back to that concert he did with the feature by Drake a little while ago, how he couldn't get attention early on is what you're saying. And then now fast forward to that concert and I'm just thinking about hit after hit after hit. The fucking guy's catalog it's
nuts.
Unbelievable.
Even in those days though, like the music he was putting out, they have videoed his first apartment in Newark, New Jersey. It's crazy. It's like a bedroom, a music studio, and a atrium and a pool table. That was his apartment. So most of it's just him playing pool with his buddies while he's recording songs. But like he plays Jesus Walks. And like, as we know, that song was immense and he had it like 4 years earlier completed. And he's just like, here. And then you hear them playing it, right? It shows him meeting with rappers and like pitching them songs. And he wants to be in the songs too. And they're just like, why don't you just give me that song? And he's like, I'm not giving you shit. Fuck you, pay me. And he just passes at them and stuff. I don't know. It was very, very interesting. I like Kanye.
I like Kanye too.
2021 Kanye, 2022 Kanye is a part of a longer story.
Yeah.
And you can't.
It's more complex than just saying that guy's a nut.
And sometimes if you're really, really talented at numerous things, you're not very good at other things. And I think that expecting guys like Kanye or even an Elon or something to also be able to make sure that they pick up their dry cleaning on time and act all normal, I just think it's unrealistic of them. If you have Jesus Walks in your head and no one's ever heard it but you, like you're going to be a little bit different.
Yeah.
I loved it. You got to watch it, Baggedmilk.
I can't wait.
If you can stop your fucking record-setting podcasting for 30 fucking seconds.
Yeah, it's on my list. I'll probably crush it in a sitting.
Oof.
Probably. If I got, well, there's 2 games this weekend. Maybe, you know what, tomorrow night, Friday, well, I'm just kind of, that's my plan for tomorrow night. I'm going to watch all of it, Tyler. Tyler's zoned out. He doesn't care.
No, I'm checking your podcast downloads from today.
Oh my God.
It's fantastic.
Stop it.
My podcast is very good.
You know what? I bet George Michael was happy when he started releasing solo songs and they're like, oh, Wham's not doing so well. And he's like, I don't care about Wham.
I care about all the podcasts I'm on.
And the ones you're not on?
Of course. Of course.
Yep. Oilers?
I also got Suitcase and the Scribes downloads up as well in the easiest way possible.
That is
implementing a new trick.
Yeah. Putting it on the website.
Yeah. That is a lot of inside baseball stuff that we don't need to share on the podcast, but
you're welcome, McKenna.
Yeah,
that's why he gets the high elevator to ride.
Yeah. Woo. Fun times. Fun times around these parts.
Here.
Is it, or is that your podcast?
Yeah, it's fire. It's where I left my mixtape.
I would love to talk about the Oilers.
I think the Oilers have a different vibe right now.
Yep.
This is a coach who's very positive.
Yep.
All the messaging, all the words that come out of his mouth, nothing's about him. He is standing in front of bullets like fucking Neo in the Matrix.
Like standing in front of them with his hands on his hips.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the hero poses? Get out of here.
So funny.
He's so proud of himself, and I think it's well-deserved.
And he's hungry, man.
Yeah.
Nobody wants that job more than Jay Woodcroft.
No.
And he's communicating effectively. The players seem to be responding to it. I played a clip from Warren Fogle that was sent me, actually, where he was just talking about how detailed everything is and how it's so much easier when everybody knows what they're doing.
That was a shot across the bow.
Oh, yeah.
Tippy top.
Oh, yeah. But I like it. I'm here for the beef sells records.
I just want to see wins, baby. I don't care who coaches the team. A baby could coach this team for all I care.
They're playing different though to me, you know.
They are, man. Yaremchuk, tell me all sorts of smart shit this guy's doing differently that I don't know.
I was going to play the...
play the Warren Fogle clip.
Well, I was going to play the Warren Fogle thing, but what do you think's happening right now?
You can't connect to the roadcaster.
Not connected to the roadcaster, correct. Yeah. Now we might be.
Do you think Jay would notice if I just stole the roadcaster?
You have your own?
I got one, but like I'm having issues.
All right, here. Let's take a listen to what Warren Fogle had to say. Actually, no, we're not because it's not working.
Here, I'll be Warren Fogle. Hey, everybody, it's me, Warren Fogle.
Are you wearing your handsome boy glasses?
You know I am. Coach Tippett didn't do his job properly, and now we're getting properly coached. That's crazy. Why would Warren Fogle say that?
It's wild he would say that about his former coach.
Jeez, professionalism.
You got to keep that shit locked down, homie.
Keep it on the DL. That's inside baseball shit.
Yep.
I don't know what that means, Yaremchuk, but I felt inside when you said it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this isn't going to work. That's weird. Well, heaven forbid I have the technology on wraps. It's not like that's one of the things I get paid to do.
Wow.
Happens.
You got your gambling to fall back on. You'll
details. Yeah.
Well, Yaremchuk, tell me some smart guy stuff about how Woodcroft's running the team differently, therefore better.
I think it's too early to give
what are some first impressions then?
They're playing more inspired. Like it seems like there's more effort.
They are standing guys up at the blue line. That's insanely noticeable.
That's actually the tangible difference. I think a lot of people
rotating lines differently too, right? They're not playing
his minutes usage is way more spread out.
Yeah. Like even last game, I mean, Darnell Nurse only played 22 minutes, I think, and only 11 of them were at 5-on-5. Like Woodcroft's just finding a way to get everyone going a little bit. And I think it's something that maybe I didn't even realize was as big of a problem as it was. Cause you look at a game where they'd lose and it'd be like, okay, McDavid and Draisaitl were at like 27 minutes, right? And you'd go, well, no, they had to play in that much because like they were trying to get back in the game. But then you even look back to the LA game, you fall behind 1-0 early and everyone just keeps the same level of minutes. You eventually come back in the game because all four lines are generating momentum and getting chances to play. And it's not like you're going out if you're Derek Ryan or Warren Fogle, having a good shift and then sitting for 6 minutes because they got a power play and then McDavid and Draisaitl rotated for the last 4 minutes, right? Like I think getting everyone going like that is really, really important. And it's something Woodcroft's doing that I didn't even maybe think was as big of a problem as it was, like I said.
And Coach Manson seemingly has got these little boys eating some spoonful of cement and toughening up. They look tough.
Marcus Niemelainen is
Where'd he come from? Where is this gentleman?
He was drafted the same year as McDavid.
What round? 11th?
Yeah, something like that. But that kid hits like a truck.
Well, he just sort of showed up as like an electron orbiting around Dave Manson.
Yeah.
Sorry, picked in the same year as Jesse Puljujarvi, 2016.
What round?
Third rounder, second pick overall, 63rd overall. So like a decently high pick that's just taken a long time to get here.
Sometimes it takes a minute.
And he's been hanging and now he just came up to the big show, or was he in Europe, or what was happening?
Yeah, he would have been over in Europe for a few years. So they drafted him, like I said, 2016. Played one more season in the Ontario Hockey League, and then he went over, played 4 years in the SM Liga.
Which one is that?
That would be Finland. He is a Finn.
Did he see Yessi come back to Edmonton and was like, now I also Edmonton, and then tried really hard, or what happened?
Has to be. It's the only thing that makes sense. I also find it interesting that Jay Woodcroft is really leaning on the guys he knows from Bakersfield. Like Ryan McLeod killing penalties. Yeah. That's new.
His 5-on-5 minutes are down a little, but he's playing fourth line center, but he is killing penalties.
You know who else's minutes are down?
Devon Shore.
Oh, way down.
Way down.
He played 257 last
No way he plays tonight, right?
The Devon Shore apologists are spinning in their graves.
Yeah. He's just like, he is that Wolverine meme with the picture holding the Tippett photo, you know?
Chris Chalmers is joining us for a pop-in brought to you by DoorDash and Oodle Noodle.
Didn't he say like 2 seconds ago he couldn't do it?
Yeah. And then he asked, are we doing this? And I remembered that I forgot to hit send on the Zoom link. It was just sitting in my text box.
Right, sure.
So it's partially on me here, Charles.
I do not have time for this. What the hell kind of incompetence is not sending the link?
To be fair, you said you'd make it today.
How you doing, boy?
Doing good.
Yeah, I just couldn't make it. I just couldn't make it there today. That's all.
Chalmers, are you watching Genius on Netflix?
No, what is it?
The Kanye documentary?
Oh God! Enough with Kanye.
No, you are wrong. You are
fucking
wrong.
guy.
This is young Kanye documentary, Chalmers. You don't know. This isn't current Kanye. This is a guy who's had a film crew following him around for 7.5 years, Kanye.
Did we already know? Did we know ahead of like that he had a camera crew like that?
No. And I know that people listening to this show are like, we already talked about this Wanye, but Chalmers wasn't here. And really, this is a conversation between me and him.
Well, and also I want to get your guys' take on the Super Bowl halftime show because you guys weren't here on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Chalmers, did you like the Super Bowl halftime show? You were probably like, oh, 50 Cent, why is he upside down? I've never seen his first video, so
That's
I don't
exactly
know.
what Tyler said.
You said
He didn't know in the club.
Oh,
I didn't know the Indica.
when I saw people on Twitter being like, why is 50 Cent upside down? I was like, you wouldn't last a second on the dance floor, Cowboys.
Not on
Not
these
a
streets.
second.
Mm-mm. It was going
I
from
know
in
the
to club.
song. I just
reason-
didn't know that was the reason.
The reason I loved it as much as I did is because of the age that I'm at. I mean, those were all hugely influential
yeah.
acts in my life.
It was one of those ones where
when,
it was one of those ones where everybody complains about the halftime show for having old people music. And then this year we were like, hey, this is for us. And then wait a minute. It was like, oh, wait, I know what that means.
Wait a minute. We're old now.
Shit.
I listen to songs all the time on, is it 107?
Yep.
And I'm like, these aren't oldies. I'm like, oh my God, they are oldies. This song that I think is brand new from Nelly came out in 2001.
Yep.
Well, I thought the halftime show was like really, really, really good. I knew obviously like with having 5 or 6 artists that you weren't going to get as much of one as you would have liked. And maybe you were going to get a little more of another one that you didn't care for. All in all, like I thought it was good. I thought it was really good. Like 50 Cent was good. The first thing I thought of, and Wanye, you can remember this, but when he came out with In the Club, and he was the first kind of guy to rock like thick banded tank tops, right? Like the thick band. And I remember after I saw the In the Club video, I went and purchased myself about 10 of them in different colors. And I would run those things so hard.
That's part of your signature
it was
look.
Cool. It was my signature look. Backwards Kangol and a
Couple of chains.
a wide. Oh yeah, a couple chains on, couple chains.
If you were
chains.
walking down the street with your girlfriend, Yaremchuk, and you saw Kangol tank top Chalmers with a bloody CRX, and if you wouldn't have kept your girlfriend,
better
you'd just
cross the
That's
street.
right. Or she's going to be leaving in a purple CRX. Vroom, vroom.
But I didn't like, so my first reaction to him hanging upside down and like wearing a tank top was like, man, 50 is getting old, but he looks good.
Yeah.
And then everybody was like killing him.
Looked like
for
51
being,
cent.
Oh,
Yeah.
the recycled joke. Oh, 50 cent turned into $1. It wasn't. First of all, that's not funny. Number 2, I thought he looked great. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I thought he looked still jacked and shit. Like
He's jacked, but he's like he's like Busta Rhymes jacked.
Yeah, he's a thick boy. He had
Like
a couple
his
C's.
arms are big, sure, and his chest is big, and he's working out, but he's also got a thick boy situation.
He's got that vitamin water
Yeah.
money, man. He doesn't. You got time for this shit.
I understand the song selection for Eminem with Lose Yourself. I get it. You know, it's a real pump up sort of like sports anthem, you could call it, right? But man, I would have, it's not my favorite Eminem song. So like there's other songs I would have rather heard from him.
What would you have rather heard?
Dre thing,
I'm curious. Because I was playing the
well,
game
they
where as people were
like-
coming out, I was trying to guess in my head what song they were gonna play. So for Eminem, when he started doing it, I was like, oh, okay, well, I get it. Like it makes sense. And then I Googled how old that fucking song is at this point. It's 20 years old now.
it's 20 years old.
Were you surprised by
But like-
Mary J. Blige's song she sang?
Not really.
I
That's her
didn't
only
even
hit.
know it. And you know me, I loved Mary J back in the day.
You
Like-
didn't know that song? She played No More
She was
Drama
my
than
queen,
the
and
other
I didn't
one.
really know that song all that well.
Family affair.
Family Feds one.
I could have done
Yeah.
without Mary J. If you could have
You
swapped
can't
out.
have 5 guys perform No Lady in 2022 at the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
You
fair.
can't say that in 2022. Yeah, you gotta have Mary J. But like the Dr. Dre production board that he was using, that was kind of funny. Like he just kind of sang, you know, a bit of his song, a bit of 2001, and that's about it. And then just stood at that board like he was producing the damn thing.
It's the
Like,
best.
I'm sure they told him don't do that.
Do you want to know what's hilarious is the amount of people that were surprised when the photo came out of Snoop Dogg smoking weed.
I thought he was going to just have one going while he performed.
That's what I thought. Like, oh my God, biggest chronic on earth smokes weed before
While the
halftime
CEO of the
show.
NFL lays an egg in the crowd.
Guy probably can't perform without getting baked up.
When I went to this is a small flex, but I went to the New York anniversary of the Source Awards show. Remember the Source Awards where he's like, if you don't want an executive producer dancing in your videos, come to Death Row. Do you remember that?
No.
There was
I just remember the Source Awards show for having a brawl
that
break
was
out in every single one of them.
So there was one in New York and like the height of the East Coast, West Coast stuff. And Suge Knight went on stage and said, if you want to change labels and come over to a label where the executive producer doesn't dance in your videos, meaning Puff Daddy, come to Death Row. So I went to the anniversary show of that in New York. I went by myself and I sat like special American Express club holder seat thingy solo, right?
That's dope.
And all these like 90s gangsters that had gotten away with it were there with their wives and stuff. And they were wearing like fur coats and shit. It was really, really cool. But Snoop was half the show was West Coast people and half the show was East Coast people. So I probably saw 30 rappers perform in one night. It was an unbelievable show. It was crazy. Dr. Dre had just sold to Beats by Dre. He was there. Eminem was there, I think. Anyway, Snoop Dogg was there. And he was smoking these huge joints all show.
Torpedoes.
Just smoking them and people are giving him weed and blah, blah, blah. And he's dancing and like, they're all kind of older, so they can't do back-to-back songs because they get tired. And Snoop and Puff come out and Snoop goes, I'm finally starting to feel high. And Puff Daddy's like, you've been chain smoking weed since dress rehearsal. And they like had this argument on stage about Snoop smoking too much weed. It was just so funny. That's like funny. Even among rappers, they're like, aw, Snoop. So the fact that he didn't go on stage lighting one up was quite funny.
It was fun.
I know.
The Super Bowl halftime show was amazing, but then what it led me into, because it was so good, I watched the Up in Smoke tour on YouTube.
Oh
my God.
The best.
Absolute best.
Yeah, dude.
With the big lowrider they come out in.
Dude, I've seen the clip a lot recently where they start, I think that song's called 2001, right? Or is it Dre Day? What's that song called?
Which one?
The one that they played at the very beginning, the one with the...
I think it's Dre Day, isn't it?
I don't remember.
I don't know. But, and they come on the lowrider and they start bouncing their hands and it gets the place going.
So
it was the very first song they played in the halftime show.
Yeah, I just remember what it's called.
Isn't it still DRE?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Still
With the piano? Was it
Still
Scotch?
DRE.
Still DRE.
Scotch Storch pianos?
Oh, that was later.
Cling, 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 cling.
Poor Scott Storch didn't get the
Yeah, that
appearance,
one.
you know?
He's doing all right for himself, though.
Is he?
Oh, yeah.
He had that mini documentary on YouTube about a year ago.
He's making a
but it
lot of
seemed-
gems again. If you follow him on Insta, he's working all.
I follow him on Insta, so that makes me happy. But just that documentary seemed like a real bummer. Like everybody turned their back on him.
But he came back. He bounced back.
Well, that's good. Shout out to Scott Storch.
What'd you guys think of the bridge to the young people by having Kendrick in there?
Sick.
Kendrick's the best. I didn't realize how
pretty good.
small he is.
Yeah.
Did you notice the detail in the set too when you were looking down on Kendrick?
It was
and you could see that the whole map was basically the city of Los Angeles, like a map of the city of Los Angeles.
That's cool. I was surprised with
Man, it
Kendrick's
was
song
cool.
choice.
Yeah,
Really?
I felt
A little
bad
bit.
for the I felt bad for the 60% of people that couldn't see inside the houses though because they had their back.
Oh, everybody from behind.
I thought they
Yeah,
rotate because
like-
like Kendrick would have been on that backside, right?
I was watching some TikTok videos of people that were there, and they were just filming the back of the stage, and it was very funny because you can just see the back of the stage or
I
the
thought
back
they
of Snoop
would at
Dogg
least
or
flip it.
whatever.
I think I heard a stat that was the only other time where the ratings for the Super Bowl went up during the halftime show.
Mhm. I heard that.
And the
was
only
the
other
other
one
one?
was like Michael Jackson or something.
I watched the Michael Jackson Super Bowl performance the other day. It was unbelievable.
What Super Bowl was that?
I think it was in LA.
Yeah. So like a long time ago.
80s, like late
Yeah.
80s, but he shoots out of the ground and lands
Yeah,
on
yeah,
stage and then stands there in his flex pose. Now, remember, like the Super Bowl halftime show isn't very long, right?
No.
He probably stood there for 35 seconds, not even blinking with his shades on, and the crowd just losing their shit. And all he did was stand there and they started moonwalking. Woo-wee!
Oh, I got a question for you guys. Which one did you like better? 7 songs from 5 different artists this year, or a Super Bowl halftime show like last year where The Weeknd plays 5 to 7 songs that are all his, all bangers? Like, which one would you prefer?
That's part of the reason I said the only reason I said I could have done without Mary J. Blige is because I so badly wanted like one more Kendrick, one more Eminem song. Like I would just wanted a little bit more of the rappers there that I actually like love. And it was not even necessarily a slight on like Mary J. Blige or whatever. I just would have liked more of my personal favorites. That's all that was.
Oh, I absolutely agree with you, even though I won't say it on a podcast.
This was my favorite halftime show
But I
since
believe you.
Prince, and I think that was 2007.
Michael
Remember-
Jackson literally just stands here not
Look at-
singing for
and the
so
crowd
long.
goes crazy because that's what he used to do when he was on the world tours. Is that how he started?
If you watch the Prince one, he does that for a second too. He just stands.
Oh,
there.
not like
it's
MJ.
amazing. No, not
I'm just
this
kidding.
long.
I'm just kidding.
But Prince also does it where he's just like superhero pose. I love that shit, man.
You know what I would like to see at the halftime show? Do you remember earlier in this whole situation that we're in when we were singing sea shanties?
Oh, I love a good sea shanty. Yeah.
Imagine that for a Super Bowl show. Just a bunch of like sea shanties sang and a bunch of old sailors telling stories.
Exactly.
That's a good one.
Oh man, that's going to
get the people going.
Exactly. Second half after some sea shanties. Let's do this thing.
It reminds me of that TikTok video where the two guys are in the car and the one guy's singing it and the other guy's filming. He's like, look at this guy. What is going on? And then like
by the end, he's into it.
Loves
like,
it.
This is actually pretty fired. He's getting into it. And then the next one, he's like full on singing the words. He's like, this shit fire.
My brother-in-law,
It is fire.
shout out Japa, they're PEI folk. And they're like, sweet, sea shanties are coming back. I'm like, I don't know how long it's going to last for before we go all in on this. This might just be like when Lou Bega thought the Mambo was coming back and it really wasn't.
There's you'll see it's coming.
You like a good sea shanty. You know the guy that sings "Take Me to Church," that guy Hosier or whatever, however you say it. He's got a thick Scottish accent, and if you go on YouTube, like the Whiskey Humor song or something like that, it's like a shanty, and it's unbelievable. He does it without any instruments. If you're into that kind of thing, look it up. You'll love it because I did.
And then you'll enjoy the 2023 Super Bowl if you're into that because it's sea shanties. It's been confirmed.
Everybody's going to love the sea.
Who would you like to see in all seriousness? 2023 Super Bowl. Like, I just feel like it's going to be so hard to top what they did this year in terms of like a hype perspective.
Do you want me to predict what I predict will be 2023? I thought about this.
Okay.
How can they outdo this? They're going to have BTS.
Oh.
And BTS is going to perform.
Oh my God.
And hold on, because BTS has hits with a lot of the acts in North America.
Like Coldplay.
Mm-hmm. Watch. That's my prediction. Wanye lock. I don't bet on sports. I don't understand football. But the only way to outdo this is to find a bigger collective in 2023. And the only thing bigger than hip hop is BTS.
I was thinking that since they saw, this was my guess, since they saw how big this one was, they go right back to hip hop again next year. Jay-Z and Kanye.
Well,
Jay-Z said no.
So you
Really?
like,
Yeah,
Jay-Z
they offered
turned
it to him like 3 years in a row, I thought.
Yeah, and he said no every time because they don't pay.
Respect.
I wonder if they paid.
it's fun. It's funny you ask this because it gets me thinking like, okay, if you go away from hip hop, you can either go to like a pop act, which BTS is probably the king of right now. And then, or you can go to like a band, like a legit band. I can't think of any
who's
band.
a band big enough right now to do it?
No,
you'd have to go old school.
Really isn't.
Yeah.
Are you suggesting Wham get back together?
That's what I was saying. Dig George Michael up and throw him out there.
Well,
What was the other guy's name? Richard
They
Archelby?
gotta,
Josh Archibald.
a band plays their instruments, though. Wham didn't play their instruments. They played air guitar.
They played hair dryer so they could get their hair poofy.
What about this? 2023 Super Bowl. Bieber.
These would be sweet.
That'd be not obviously this level of hype, but if you want to talk about an act that would probably outperform the game, Bieber would, I think.
Yeah, it depends on where he's at in his life.
I got one.
But I want them to drag
I got
out
one
DJ
and-
Khaled and Wheezy and all of them so they could do.
That's what I was just.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say that. Baggedmilk, you nailed it. When he said Bieber, it basically made me think if you brought out DJ Khaled and then just brought out the people that sang his hits, like
Drake
Lil
comes out
Wayne,
and does Pop Star.
Justin Bieber, The Weeknd, yeah. Like,
But you have to
you got
remember,
all
like
these
this was
people.
the first halftime hip hop show
Mhm.
in 2022. Like the NFL hadn't heard of hip hop prior to this point. Are there any other genres that are popular? Hey, so the other day I was
Drake
reading.
would do it.
Oh, Driz? You know he would.
Drake would
Drake. Watch
You know
out, it's
he'd do
BTS. What do I get? What do I get for a prize when it's BTS next year?
I think that's a really good pick.
Thank you.
I think it is too. I didn't even think about that. but that's smart.
Multicultural, global
Yeah.
audience. Korean people will watch
Yeah,
the
but
Super Bowl.
oh man, but just like you got to think production and the NFL is so heavily based in older white men in power, and so like how would they justify? And when their
They're going to
demographic
play
is like
because
18,
BTS has hits with all sorts of non-scary to white people bands, like Coldplay. I've never seen a
So-
white guy get
so-
scared of
so if
Coldplay
you
in my
were-
life.
You're in a production.
Chris Martin's like,
you're
I'm
It's a
selling-
bit too edgy.
yeah.
It's a bit too edgy for me, Coldplay. I'm not into this.
You're selling
Everyone's like, whoa.
BTS in a production meeting, and you're saying to them, "Look,
Here are the
we can
numbers of
bring in
BTS.
all these acts like Coldplay. We can bring in like I don't really know who BTS has songs with, but they can kind of hit your demo. But you bring in all the millions of BTS fans that will tune in for the game.
That'll make your ratings
Go
go
watch
up.
the halftime show.
I think it's a really good pick. BTS is a solid pick.
Thank you very much. It's as though I have control over the Super Bowl, and I do, because I said it first.
What else do they have features with? I'm trying to Google
Lots.
it.
They got lots and lots of folks.
I think they go back to hip hop again.
Yeah, I think they do too, actually. I think they try to ride this.
Imagine they had a global hip hop board and they're like, now the South raps, now the East raps, now the King of the North, Drake raps. And then they just
fucking 3-6 Mafia going out there. I'm all over it.
Yeah, wait. What wasn't it like just 3 or 4 years ago where the Super Bowl was in the South, like Atlanta or something, and Big Boy and like Outkast did it with people from the South, or am I dreaming that?
I think that's a dream you had. You might be remembering a MLS game.
List. Yes, that was the game between Atlanta FC and Red Bull New York. List of Super Bowl halftime shows. Let's take a trip down memory lane here. In 1970, the theme was Tribute to Mardi Gras.
Oh, boy.
I don't recognize any of those performers.
Do the last 4 years.
Yeah, let's go in recent.
Yeah, I know. I'm going to go in reverse order.
1963, Starland Vocal Band performed.
Yeah. Afternoon Delight's a smash hit.
The Weekend last year, Shakira and J-Lo.
That was the closing ceremonies for Humanity in 2020.
Yep.
It was.
That was
correct.
Because nothing was happening then, and everybody was like, hooray. And then 2 hours later.
Also made me remember how much.
Charles, you're correct. 2019, Maroon 5 headlined with appearances from Travis Scott and Big Boy. So it wasn't a full embrace of hip hop with Maroon 5 there, but a year before that, Justin Timberlake featuring the University of Minnesota Marching Band. What? That was when he took the selfie in the crowd, remember?
Ugh.
Lady Gaga. Year before that was Coldplay with Beyonce and Bruno Mars.
Mm-hmm.
Katy Perry with Lenny Kravitz and Missy Elliott.
Dancing Sharks.
Yeah, Dancing Sharks. Bruno Mars with the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Beyonce with Destiny's Child in New Orleans in 2013.
Oh, that was a good one.
Holy fuck, what a
Lose
lineup.
My Breath. I can still remember them performing that. Wait, is that 2013?
Say my name.
2013, yeah.
Everybody loves Say My Name.
2012, Madonna featuring LMFAO, Cirque du Soleil, Nicki Minaj, MIA, CeeLo Green, and a bunch of high school drum lines.
That one was so bad.
Year before that, Black Eyed Peas with Usher and Slash.
Dope.
2010, Sun Life Stadium in Miami, The Who. Then before that, Springsteen, Tom Petty, Prince.
Prince
Good one.
rules. Prince was the best.
Rolling Stone, Paul McCartney.
Now that you just brought up Black Eyed Peas, have you guys ever seen the video of Fergie singing the national anthem at the All-Star, the NBA All-Star game?
Terrible.
And like all the players like looking across each other and trying not to laugh. And it's like, you know, when you were in school and the teacher's like scolding you, you're trying not to look at your buddies because you know it's going to make you laugh.
Don't do your remix of the anthems. Nobody has ever remixed the anthems and made it better. Like, I got my little spin on things.
Never.
Don't put your spin on things.
But Chalmers, what did I tell you when we were talking about Super Bowl bets? You bet the over on the anthem every single time. Every time.
Did you guys see the anthem? That Mickey Guyton, she's a country singer and she is unbelievable. And I thought she was trying to hone in her inner Whitney there for that, like for the anthem, because she did good. And that is what it reminded me of, like the iconic, I think it was the World Series where Whitney sang it at.
All right.
Unbelievable.
Whitney had some pipes. She'd have been did she ever do the halftime show?
Not that I saw on here.
She'd be unbelievable.
I bet you she's done an anthem or two. That wouldn't surprise me.
How about The Rock at the beginning? What the hell? The NFL's just like, we have unlimited money. Any ideas? I don't know. We could have the Beatles reunite. Aren't two of them dead? Next idea. Let's bring The Rock out and just have him yell at the crowd. What the fuck? Why?
I just also love
weird.
that The Rock is 3 times the size he was as a wrestler.
Yeah, he's 70.
He's fucking huge.
Why though?
How old is The Rock?
Why have The Rock come yell? Just to amp up everybody?
Dwayne Johnson.
People love The Rock.
Can I get guesses on how old you guys think Dwayne
53.
58.
Charles?
54.
You guys all went over. He's only 49, actually.
Oh, God.
I wouldn't have been surprised if it was late 50s, if we're being honest.
Yeah. I follow him on Instagram. He makes me tired.
Yep.
He makes me tired too. He's on the juice.
He's going to be president.
Allegedly, in Chalmers' opinion.
He has more credibility with people than most politicians when he polls. People feel like The Rock.
He's one of the highest box office actors in the world. So I would see people voting for him just because he's like, I like that movie you're in.
He's like, boy, if they try to mess with us, I'm going to
Jumanji.
raise my eyebrow and send some air nukes over. Yay!
Go ahead.
Dude's making like $50 million a year. What the hell would he want to be the president for?
Power.
Clout.
Well, buddy, didn't you see his Instagram, that song that he made? I got money, I got power. He got the
We stay
power.
hungry. We do
He would have
power.
been better off.
What? Whoa, Rock wrote a song?
The Rock's on a rap, man.
Oh, dear.
They got big on TikTok.
Oh,
So big on TikTok.
I like
he would
TikTok
have
for
been
the
better
hip
off
hop collabs.
singing that at the beginning of the game.
I
instead of
would have
what he said.
loved to see that. Although he did his shtick, the Super Bowl has come back.
Finally.
Yeah.
That was cool.
I like this.
He should have done like the smell what the Rock is cooking and all, like gone right into the Rock.
Yeah,
And
I
whip
would
the
like to see
sunglasses into the crowd.
all the taglines.
He is probably the best hype guy ever. Maybe that's why they had him do it.
Him or that Royal Rumble guy.
Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about. Let's get ready to rumble guy.
Yeah. That guy makes a mint off saying those words.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
And he's done. Like before
What
the
did you
fight
guys-
even starts, he's like,
He's
well,
out.
another night for me. I guess I'll go home.
I read that he gets up to 6 figures just to say that one sentence.
What's his name again? Bruce Buffer?
I don't remember.
Let's get
I
ready
was
to
reading about him.
Michael
rumbo.
Buffer.
R-U-M-B-O. Rumbo.
But he
Michael
trademarked
Buffer.
it.
Michael Buffer. Bruce Buffer's the UFC guy.
Yeah.
Bruce Banner? That's the Hulk.
Yeah.
Buffer.
Warren Buffett?
How much
Warren
does
Buffett-
Michael Buffer get per paid appearance?
There
It's
we
like
go.
it's like 6 figures, isn't it?
How much does Michael Buffer make for every fight? This is from an article in January. According to Celebrity Net Worth, Buffer earns between $25K and $100K for every fight that he does that at.
Just to say, let's get ready to rumble. What a fucking gig.
It's wild.
I need a catchphrase.
So Yaremchuk and
Mhm.
Baggedmilk. I know you didn't bet on it, but how'd you guys make
What?
out on the Super
That
Bowl?
government name. Whoop. I didn't bet very much.
Wanye, I mean.
Oh.
I didn't bet very much, Chalmers, but I bet the over on the anthem, hit that. I bet Blue Gatorade, hit that, and I also hit the coin toss. Those were the only bets I had, and I got all 3.
If we were to say I wagered 5 units, I lost 0.75 units. I had a lot on the over. I did nail a couple teaser bets, which was nice. And I nailed OBJ first touchdown.
You missed the first part of the podcast, Chalmers, where Tyler was basically just talking about how rich he is now.
Mm-hmm.
Fans himself with
Oh,
money,
good.
sleeps on, dollar bills.
What was the story you
Oh,
told
you
Charles about, like, when... Was it you who's telling the... No, never mind. It was someone else. A different podcast.
Oh, my God. What were you going to say? I'll make stuff up to add it.
Someone told me a story about how, like, the first time they ever went to Vegas, they went and won like $300. And when they went to go cash out, they got it in like all 5s so that they could sleep on it.
Oh, no.
$300 in 5s is not that many bills,
It
really.
was not me.
I can tell you a story about Chalmers in Vegas. When we went to Vegas, we were like freshly 23, 22, 21, somewhere in there. And Chalmers insisted we all go. We go down and we won. Remember, we took a limo around town. Chalmers eating Krispy Kremes.
Oh, yeah.
And then we took a limo to the Bellagio. We each had like $800 or something. And we're like, we're going to take this bitch down. And like 15 seconds later, we were all walking out of Bellagio whistling. We showed up in a limo and we left empty handed, not 20 minutes later.
There.
Last time I was in a limo in Vegas, I ended up at Spearmint Rhino, and that's where I learned that a double rum and Coke is like $65.
It is the wildest thing about Vegas is that where I'll sit there in the casino, just playing the games, free booze, beer, rye, what.
Well, they want you to put
Whatever,
your shekels
crown.
down on them tables.
Yeah. So that's fine. You go to a gas station and you can get a fucking massive 24-ounce can of beer for like $3. And then you step into like a fast food restaurant or a night, whatever kind of restaurant it is, that beer is now $13. And it's like, so
They got to pay for everything, man.
I know, but I just
You
in
think
my,
these windows are free?
but just in my head, I'm like, you could just get loaded before you go anywhere and drink water,
Well, you could, sure.
but it's not as much fun.
But then you're not as fun as when you
Yeah.
got the big guitar, Slurpee thing.
Yeah,
around
and
your
you're
neck.
playing that thing.
Yeah.
That was the other thing too. Like, so
I
they,
just could have imagine they're rolling out the best table in the place for you, and you're like, "We're hammered. Get us a bunch of water, and we want the front table."
You run away to the
Yeah,
gas
no.
station, come back with an armful of Tallies.
When we were there on the last nation vacation, they kept getting upset with us. We were playing craps, but we kept putting our case of White Claws on the table. They're like, stop putting your White Claws on the fucking
Never.
table, you idiots.
okay, Charles, I wanted to save this conversation. We only got like 10 minutes left in the pod or around there, I guess. Want to save this for you because it's Olympic based. Team Canada's women. Canada's women have been carrying them through now a summer and a winter games. Hell of a performance. Probably the most dominant hockey team Canada's ever put together.
Stomping people.
Everyone. And the game ended up being close, but Canada was in control of that whole hockey game. Marie-Philippe Poulin is probably the most clutch hockey player Canada's ever produced.
What was the stat? I would look it up, but I can't get on
Four gold medal games she's played in. She scored 70% of Canada's goals in them.
She's got what, 3 golden goals?
3 golden goals. She's the only hockey player to ever score in 4 Olympic gold medal games. It's nuts what she's been able to do.
Yeah. She'd be able to do another one. I don't know. How old is she?
Well, she was 18 in Vancouver, so she would be like 32 now. So maybe.
Yeah, there's still one more in there.
But if you're Marie-Philippe Poulin, do you not sit there and be like, you know what?
No.
I think maybe you push it.
No, go for it.
Anyways, did any of you guys stay up and watch that game?
I did. Yeah, it was great.
Charles, Olympic guy? No?
I did not.
I also made Jell-O for the first time last night.
You know, I missed. It was birthday weekend plus the Super Bowl. Man, I've been really out of it up until about an hour and a half ago. This whole week, it's been like just a piano tied to my back, and so I haven't been staying up very late. I fell off my Olympic coverage. It's just it's been a bit of a
real life
haul. So no, but I did.
Real life
I did
got
hear
in the way,
one
Chalmers.
thing, and that is how in God's name can you have a referee from one of the countries of the team playing in the gold medal game? How is that possible?
Because they're professionals.
But it doesn't matter. You shouldn't have an American referee reffing the American-Canadian hockey game.
Why? Doesn't the referee code of conduct supersede what country you're from? Don't they swear allegiance to an international
on the men's
organization?
side, they won't do it.
Really?
I believe, yeah. It was interesting, Charles. I did notice that. But I mean, I also think maybe because it's all female officials, right? So I think it just comes down to putting the best ones out there. The other thing with Marie-Philippe Poulin is she scores 2 goals last night. Mm-hmm. Huge part of their win. She gets a penalty late for just fucking steamrolling someone. Like that was a pretty dirty hit.
Solid hit.
And she goes to the penalty box and she's too short. Like her feet don't touch the ground in the penalty box. So she was just sitting there like kicked back, looking up at the clock like, we're up by 2 and like kind of swinging her feet. It was so funny. Like the ultimate like, we're fucking good. I took the penalty. Who cares?
I liked her banging on the glass from in there too.
Yeah, that was good
stuff. It was fun. That was a good game.
Good gold medal game. Those 2 never really disappoint unless you had Canada -1.5 like I did and some other people. And that made me mad.
I just kept sending.
Well, congratulations for the Canadian women. Too bad for the Canadian men. What a disappointment they were.
Fucking Anton Lander put the nail in the coffin.
Anton Lander.
Anton Lander.
So funny.
It's always the next Oiler, man, to break your heart. Speaking of the Oilers, you guys probably talked a bit about the Oilers. They're back.
Oh yeah.
So that's great.
Do you think so, Chalmers? Are you feeling good?
They're back.
They're back.
Good?
Oh,
you got wood. You got wood for Woodcroft.
I got wood for Woodcroft. 3-0, baby. I didn't.
The best. He's already got more coaching wins than Dallas Aikens as an Oilers coach.
That was a great tweet. So good. Made me laugh.
Thank you.
So I got a question, and this is for you guys who know caps and you know the structure of a hockey team. Now, Koskinen's in the COVID protocol, and Mike Smith and Stuart Skinner are playing. Skinner plays, and he gets a shutout. We all know it. He looked awesome. We loved him. Mike Smith comes in, gives up kind of a garbage goal. Still like him. He battled back. Whatever. The next day, Koskinen comes off COVID protocol, and Skinner is sent down. Mm-hmm. Now, my question is my and the reason I'm asking is because I just don't delve deep in this, but my kids looked at me and were like, how can they trade him down? Why can't they just and they don't really know how waivers work and all that, but they're like, why can't they just do something with Koskinen? And I'm like, well, we can't trade him and they're like, he makes too much money. But
smart kids.
Why can't he be put on waivers?
He's got a no move.
No, he's got a no trade. They could put him on waivers if they wanted to. He's got a modified no trade that says he submits a 15-team list. So if he had a no move, they couldn't send him down, but they can send him down.
Okay, so Yaremchuk and Baggedmilk, and Wanye, you might know this too. I don't know, all 3 of you.
Unlikely, but I like that you included me.
If he does clear waivers, doesn't that do something to his pay? Doesn't that give us a break on his?
It would bury $1.1 million of his cap hit. So the Oilers would actually have $350,000 of more cap space with Skinner on the roster versus Koskinen.
Okay, so why isn't this being looked at or being done? Have you heard anything? Is this just, are we too scared to lose Koskinen and go on with just Mike Smith and Stuart Skinner? Like, what do we think that is? Because it just seems crazy to me to watch Skinner play as well as he did, and we have goaltending problems, just to send him back down. And
Tyler,
it's like,
Tyler, you should take this because you were getting fired up on the pregame show.
Yeah, I had a big rant about this on the pregame show, so I'm pretty spent. But
just play the pregame show.
Yeah,
for
just
right now.
run it back. It's stupid, man. Like if you're a hockey team, or an NHL hockey team, you should be putting the best roster out every game. And Stuart Skinner has the best numbers of those three goalies. When he's in net, I have the most confidence in him out of those three goalies. And I just don't think Mikko Koskinen has the upside. Like Stuart Skinner, I think legitimately would have the chance to be one of those goalies who gets stupid hot for 2 weeks and just is unbeatable. And that's the kind of guy you need to win you playoff rounds. I don't have that same confidence that Mikko Koskinen can go 6 games in a row with a .930 save percentage. I just
they were
don't
sending down Skinner.
They did.
Oh,
Yeah.
but then
So that's why it's Koskinen and Smith. That's the problem.
Coming up.
Oh.
I see the news on Instagram when I wake up in the morning saying Stuart Skinner has been sent down to Bakersfield and Mikko Koskinen has been brought off of the COVID protocol. And I just like shake my head and look to the ground because I'm just like, what are we doing? It's like we have one major glaring problem. Like Niemelainen's been huge on our back end right now. Like our forwards seem to be kind of clicking. Evander Kane's doing exactly what Evander Kane does. And
he
that
fucking popped Lemieux in the mouth.
For that punch?
So fucking funny.
So good.
Is he going to get suspended for that or no?
No, he didn't.
No.
He's in the lineup tonight.
Quick 2 minutes, no problem.
The NHL was like, oh, you hit Brendan Lemieux, you're good.
What are we doing, Chalmers? We're doing the fall for Hall. Is that not this year? Is that not what we're doing this
Didn't
year?
you see people calling
Sorry, it's
reputable
play
people
wrong
calling
for
for 6
right because
games
it's Shane
for
Wright's
Kane?
draft. Sorry.
What's that, Charles?
reputable people calling for 6 games for Evander Kane?
Who?
What was that about?
Who are these reputable people?
Was it Frank Saravalli?
Spittin'.
He's been compromised.
Chiclet.
Mm-hmm.
Spitting.
6 games for that.
Yeah,
Oh,
Charles.
boy.
6
They
games.
usually
You
are
on
on the
that
player's
penguin?
side. That's what was so funny about
That's
it.
a reputable.
That is
Do you
a
have beef
guy.
with Spitting Chicklets here?
No, I don't. I
No,
just
get
don't
it
like when
out. I wanna hear it.
when Chalmers brings them up. It's like, bro, they're a competing podcast.
Well, you asked. I wasn't gonna.
You can bring him up, Charles. Who gives a shit? We're all part of the culture.
It's just on Instagram.
Yeah, no, I'm not surprised he didn't get suspended. He also, remember when he fucking elbowed Suzuki in the head in his
I
first
thought
game?
that was it.
David?
No, it's Kane.
Oh,
And we were like,
He just really, really upset with his nature takes.
I was having an argument with one of my buddies too about the way that Evander Kane handled the question about going back to San Jose. Now, I know he's been asked that a million times before, like at the beginning when he signed with Edmonton. But this is him going back. And so he had to know that question was coming. And so anybody with a little bit of like foresight would have thought, okay, that question's going to come. I can handle it one or two ways. I can either be impatient and I can be testy and it can look like shit and I can do exactly what I did.
The Rocky
Or
Words theory.
I can say to them, just have like this boxed answer that is so
The other
nothing
words.
of an answer
Tito
and
words.
just diffuse the whole situation. How do you not have enough self-awareness to know how to handle that?
Because
He's
Evander
crazy.
Kane is a fucking circus, and this is why we shouldn't have traded for him. And it's just starting, not ending. This isn't the end of Evander Kane acting the fool. It's the beginning.
yeah, like that's just his first press conference here in Edmonton. How many things did he say that
Best
you were
boy
like,
ever. Best boy ever. I'm being good. I'm being nice. Don't worry about me. I'm a good guy. You don't have to worry about me.
yeah, and it's just you can't expect the guy. He's not going to change. He's in year whatever. Like we knew signing him, circus off the ice, headlines off the ice. He'll play great on the ice. And what's it been? Been like headlines off the ice, good play on the ice. So there you go. That's Evander Kane, baby.
I'm going to say something, and I'd like you to delete this from the podcast after.
1 second. Anyways, yeah, Evander Kane is just drama off the ice as always.
Can you believe that thing I just told you, though?
Pretty wild.
That thing that happened?
Let the record show that Wanye, who always yells at me for taking stuff out of the podcast, directly said he wanted something taken out of the podcast.
I self-censored.
That was very funny.
Yeah. All right. Game day tonight.
So are we betting $1 million on the Oilers tonight? I mean, they can't lose, right?
Puck line.
They're on fire. All the old problems are gone.
Anaheim played last night. Let's get it.
John Gibson is sleepy because he also played last night and got pulled. And he had to sleep in a hotel room in Calgary or whatever?
What happened?
They played in Calgary last night, so he had to sleep in a hotel room. I was
Calgary's rolling. It drive me crazy.
Calgary's fucking hot, and they got
It was
Foley.
it was nice. I was getting really, really down on McLovin, but he finally scored. But I've been kind of hypersensitive watching him recently, and I've been pretty down on his play as of late. And so it was nice to see him score. Hopefully he can build on that, because
There's a couple of guys there's a few guys that got off the schneid last week. Yamamoto scored. He had been Puljujärvi scored. Vogel.
Derek Ryan didn't technically score, but he deflected that one puck that went off Vogel's leg, and then I thought he should have gotten credit for another one there.
Yeah, Daryl's goal.
Yeah, Daryl's goal.
He's been playing great.
He's been playing really good. That third line, they found something there. And I mean, if you can get Holloway up here and you get Cassian healthy, you're all of a sudden looking at a forward group that's going to be pretty good. And I know I've said that a lot of times.
And my boy seems to be back.
Nuggy?
Nuge is back.
Yeah, Nuge is back. He had a couple.
I do like having a big crushing defenseman too. That is really nice.
What nickname do you like for Marcus Niemelainen? I asked this on the pregame show. You got McDavid called him Teppo, as in like Teppo Numminen.
Yeah, no, I know exactly what that is.
That's a great nickname. Someone in my Twitter mentions called him Meanalainen because he's mean. Little wordy. Okay. And then there's just Nemo.
Yeah, so I heard Mike Smith call him Nemo when he was passive aggressively saying that first goal was his mistake.
Classic Schmitty.
Yeah.
I like Tempo the best. I like Nemo the second best, and I like Meanalainen.
Meanalainen's like a t-shirt design.
Yeah. Not easy to say though.
No.
Nicknames are supposed to roll off the tongue.
Nemo
Tempo sure the fuck does.
And Teppo's nice because like you got to get it to get it.
Yeah.
But he's a mean boy. He's a mean boy, and I love watching him play.
He brings a flavor to the Oilers that they don't have.
Yeah, 100%. Hopefully they keep it rolling tonight. Wrap? Should we wrap?
4-2 win.
Okay, we're wrapping.
Thank you.
All right.
4-2 wrap. Yeah. You know what? You know who else should rap? Kanye. Stick to rapping. Stop getting in beef on Twitter and airing all your dirty laundry. Kanye, put the phone away, my man. This is not how you get your wife back.
He doesn't want her back. This is all for show.
Instagram. This is not what you do.
He's out Kardashians. He's out Kardashians. He went to the Super Bowl, Chalmers, in a van, trending #1 in the world for spilling drama on social media. He's out Kardashianing the Kardashians.
This is the lose your pride, unself-aware handbook of
he just sold his documentary to Netflix for $30 million.
Get a rebound girl that nobody cares about. Parade her around. Check. Next.
Uncle Jones.
Tell her on social media how much you love her and how much you want her back. And put everything on Instagram, because that's what's going to get her back.
Chalmers, he did way better than that. Do you know what he did for Kim?
Oh, a truck full of roses? Cool.
No, when he went to Ray J's recently and bought the laptop off of him that has the only remaining copy of their sex tape that she stressed out her whole life he was going to release, Kanye went and met with Ray J and gave him an undisclosed amount of money and gave her the laptop as a present. That's actually extremely...
She's still with Pete Davidson.
Do you believe everything you see on TV, Chalmers? Do you think Care Bears actually shoot logos out their chests? She's not with Pete Davidson. This is a news cycle. So the rubes eat it up.
I think Pete Davidson's out here crushing.
He gets a lot of good quality ladies.
I don't think he is. I mean, those two, him and MGK and Barker. I mean, Jesus, what are we doing? I just want to cancel. Like, I just want the Kardashians and their whole orbit to just go away, because they ruin men. You know who's next? Devontae Booker, whatever his name is.
Cory Booker? He just broke up with Rosario Dawson.
You talking about the basketball player? No, that's
funny
Devin
joke.
Booker.
That's a politician who legitimately...
Devin Booker, that's right. Devin Booker. You say Cory Booker?
The politician.
The politician was dating Rosario Dawson?
That is correct, until within a week.
The fuck are we talking about?
Sports. I think Chris Humphries is time to
I believe you'll check the podcast notes. This is an Oilers podcast. You're
fair enough. Speaking of Kanye rapping, his verse on that song, 504's new song, it's very, very good.
Very good.
Very good. And he squashes the beef with Drake
What's the song
too.
called?
That's a good question.
I heard it for the first
Fabio
time.
Foreign is this guy's name.
Okay.
What
I'll go listen
about
to it. Maybe it'll.
The Pusha T video where he's doing the toxic two-step, a dance he invented called the toxic two-step. Have you seen that?
Right.
I'd like to see that.
Chalmers, don't get mad at Kanye. He's having a life, man. He's got nobody.
City of Gods by 504.
City of Gods.
Fabio Foreign.
That's right.
Good song.
Do you know why I'm mad at him? Is because I like when it comes to like hip hop and there's still albums. I listen to music a lot.
He's
through my
on
earphones
top,
while
man.
I'm
Don't be mad at Kanye. He's the number one guy.
Chalmers, if you don't want to get mad at Kanye,
Just
you
listen.
can't get mad at Method Man's new song that Wanye sent me. It's a fucking smash.
I haven't heard it. But
One of the
listen,
top
when I go
Chalmers-
back to
hold on.
old albums,
Chalmers loves Wu-Tang like no other. What if I told you, Chalmers, there's a Method Man song out now as good as any Wu-Tang song ever.
It's so good, dude.
It's so good, Chalmers.
not as good as Triumph.
No, but
Triumph is the greatest
it's-
rap song ever made.
Okay, but this
Yeah,
is
but
in
like,
the top 10.
We're
Wu-Tang
talking
songs ever.
2022.
Yeah.
Method Man drops one.
And he's jacked in the video.
You mean the guy who's apparently the best lawyer in New York in Law and Order New York?
What? Method Man's in Law and Order New York?
All right, we wrapping
He's in
it
some
up.
Law and Order type show where he's like, where his character is the most powerful lawyer in New York.
Method Man?
I'd love to see him go against the guy in Suits, whatever his name is.
I drank
Meghan Markle.
I drank a 30-ounce bottle of water here. Are we going to wrap this up right away?
We can
Like-
just keep going like this. We're never going to
Yeah,
run out
I gotta
of this
go.
level of topic. We're not going to run out of.
Yeah.
Episode 356 of the Real Life Podcast brought to you by the HGA Group. Shout out to them. DoorDash, TradesLink, and Twig and Berries, and Oodle Noodle. All of our great sponsors. Have a good
See
one.
you, Charles.
Go Oilers.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the Real Life Podcast. Don't want to miss any of our nonsense? Hit the subscribe button and give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram.